Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in the middle of England in the county of Worcestershire. Today is Monday the 19th of January already, and today is a dark, wet day like yesterday was. I didn't want to get out of bed. I stayed in bed for as long as I could justify, and I was aching even when I was in bed, but now I'm up, I'm not too bad. It's that old thing about getting the joints moving, isn't it, really? Today I'm popping on, which probably means I'll talk for about 2.5 hours. I won't put you through that. To catch you up with my 12 cast ons. I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing first. I'm wearing my house jumper. It was washed a couple of weeks ago, but you know, I thought I'd better wear something different this time. And I've got my Aran weight shawl on. I forgot to look up who the pattern designer was, but I'll put it down below in the notes. And it's got this nice edging to it, leaf design. And it's knitted in the most gorgeous, squishy Aran. It's got a lot of garter, squishy garter, in the colour Sparrow by Eden Cottage Yarns. I've got quite a few single skeins and things from Eden Cottage Yarns, and I've got a whole cardigan or jumper's worth. They're Ascom 4-ply in orange, and I think it's called Crocosmia. Might be wrong about that. I started knitting a cardigan in it, the Amelia cardigan, or Emily, and I just didn't think it was going to fit, and it sat in my stash for years, but I've undone it now, and I really want to knit it up as something. If I can, it'll be on Ravelry where it is. Now you see, I've got off a tangent already. Be warned, there is no hope. I have not done any notes. Not that I ever look at them anyway, but it's like going shopping, isn't it? If you go through the process of writing a list and putting it down and getting it through the brain, you're more likely to remember it, even if you leave the list behind, which has happened. So yeah, and it's very nice and warm, and it's very long. It could go around my neck again, but such a thing as overheating, isn't there? Tom put it on me a few minutes ago. Anyway, how are you? How are you doing? Are you got wet weather? We had a bright day the other day. It's that time of year, isn't it? Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, in which case people like Barbara, hello Barbara, are going towards their autumn/winter time, aren't they? Autumn, I should say, really. So what have we been doing? We, the royal we, obviously, me. I've been working on the Leaflette, which is by Justina Lakowski. I won't show you that because I've got a couple of more inches up the... I'm still doing the increases. I'm using that as my evening knitting. And I saw it's got like a slip stitch. It looks like an I-cord edging that you see on a lot of patterns, and I think it's a really nice touch. And I saw a mistake on it the other day, right on the edging. There was like a bar around the, instead of it, but all loads of, looks like knit stitches, like an I-cord. There was a bar where I'd obviously twisted or put the needle in the wrong place or whatever. And it was about 10 rows back, so I undid it. Trouble is, well, I'm sitting there at night and I'm knitting on it. And I'm a bit croaky again, aren't I? I can hear a squeak as I talk. I haven't got an inner mouse or rat or whatever. But I was sitting there knitting and I've fallen asleep with it in my hands, or I nearly... And last night I woke up again, and then once I was awake I carried on with it. And I thought, I'm going to finish this pattern repeat, like 48 rows. And I was like, I think I was on row 25, and they're not very long rows. And once I woke up again, I ended up finishing them, but I didn't get to bed until 2 o'clock, don't tell me, Mum. So hence why I am going to try and go to bed earlier. I mean, usually I go to bed at 2 o'clock if it's around that time, because I've fallen asleep in the chair. Anyway, let's have a look at something you've seen before, but this is a restart. And this is, because I'm not doing them in the order that I've cast them on, obviously, because that would be too easy. My Goldwing. Actually, really good to see it at a distance like that, because close up it looks a bit messy. So this is cherry red in Rowan felted tweed Aran, which is quite a plump Aran, and the grey is dusty. I've got tiny little balls. I'm getting through the meterage at the moment, but of course I'm on the shoulders and it'll be the widest part of the jumper until I cast off for the leave the sleeves on wires or whatever. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's looking for a distance. It needs blocking because it looks like, because I do two-handed colour work, it looks like some stitches are disappearing, and I think blocking will sort that out. It tends to, doesn't it? And this is a very sticky yarn if you've ever used felted tweed. Now I've gone up to, I think it's a 5 knitting needle, when you bear in mind it says to knit it on 3.75 or 4mm for the main body, and I've gone up to a 5, I think. You know, I'm so useless at this, and I can't even read. Yeah, 5mm. So I've gone up 2 needle sizes. It's much softer than it was. I don't think it can stand up on its own like when I've tried to do it on 4s. It's still quite hard on my hands, but I think some of that's the nature of the wool because it's sticky. But I'm going to finish it now. You know, the neck is still quite wide, but I think once it's on, I don't mind this having a wider neck. It's easier for Tom to dress me, and also I'll always wear something underneath this. Well, I do with my jumpers anyway, most of them. So yeah, I'm pleased. That's about 2 days, well, an evening and a day's knitting for me. And it's gone pretty slow because every now and again, or you can see my floats at the back there, and I think they're doing all right. They look fairly neat, don't they? Yeah, was I saying? Yeah, it takes me quite a while, and then I stop, look at my phone, watch something on the tablet, which I do anyway. And I rest my hands. They haven't played up or anything, knitting this, but this is a 12 cast on. It needs to be done. I'd like it to be done during the year that I cast on. So yeah, Goldwing sweater by Jen Steingass, and that's the first thing I want to show you. Let's go and find the second thing. I'm back. The second thing I want to show you is my cast on for the City Limits. This is my jumper that this is the 6th version of it. One version, the garter one, I undid, but all the others have been house jumpers, which reminds me, I've got my Caston, haven't I, that I made last year, the striped version. But this, I might not let this be a house jumper. This is the City Limits. It's just started. I've completed the short rows, and this is something that I've been thinking about doing for a while, which is a pink and orange mix. Can't really see any, it's not going to be a pattern to it, it's plain knitting. They do a little detail under the arm, which I will do, and I've sort of changed up, put a cable in one and garter in another, and you know, I like to, you know me, I get bored. At the moment I'm using these 2 yarns together from the ones I caked up the other day. I've took 20 grams or 22 grams out of each cake to put aside for blankets and things, because I've got more than enough. Of course I have. This I think is Millhouse Designs, or she's known as Steph's Crafty Bits, I think, on Etsy. And this is, I can't remember the name, it did have a thing around it, but this is a Mamie and Florrie, and that's the BFL from the lovely Susan. Hi Susan. So together they're bringing out you know, they look really nice together. I'm really happy. This is a worsted weight jumper, and I quite like both sides. I always look at things and think, when I'm doing it in stocking stitch, this is actually written as a reversible pattern if you're clever enough to sew your ends in invisibly, which I'm not, because I really like to secure my ends. I'm having none of the weaving, Stephen, and if I do, I'm sewing the ends in. I'm afraid I'm a bit thingy like that, especially with superwash yarns. I won't need to do that with the Rowan. But I quite like the back of the stocking stitch, but I always end up choosing the front at the end of the day, because I quite like the way, I just think the colours show up a little bit better. But you know, it's just my preference. I should do one that's reverse stocking stitch one day. The pattern City Limits is by Tanis Fibre Arts, Tanis Lavelle. I'll put the link to the pattern below. It's a very easy top down, raglan sleeved. It's one of those that when you look at the schematic, it's got little arms, because it's drop shoulder. Oh, no, not drop shoulder, the way the raglan works. So, and it's really easy for me to get on, which is the main thing these days. So that's my City Limits, and I'm very pleased. So I've done the short rows, and now I'm on to the raglan e-creases, and I think I'm going to do 27 of those. So before I do any more crackling, I'll put it away and I'll show you something else. Don't think I've got any more cast ons to show you, but I'm pondering about something, so of course I'll discuss that with you. A little while ago, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I didn't look at the my entry on Ravelry, excuse me, I'm just going forward slightly. And Mum and I were going down the Shambles in Worcester, and there's a lovely little shop called House of Habby, Haby, and they've got a bargain bin, and I bought this. Now it's been reduced from, it was originally £97.50. It got reduced to £68.25, and then I bought it at £58.50, which is, yeah, a little above half price. And this is Rowan Kid Silk Classic. No, not Kid Silk, Kid Classic. Look at that colour. Now it's blowing out. It is a dark red. Mum says she thinks it'll suit me. Bluey reds don't always go well. Now for 50 grams, it says Kid on here actually. That's where they get the Kid Classic from. 50 grams, you get 140 metres. Now this is listed as a DK in most cases, and it does say, but then I think it's more of an Aran, to be honest, because it says 5 to 5.5 mil needles. So I think, I've been looking at my DK patterns, but I think I should look at my Aran patterns, and of course it'll knit up quicker. Kid Classic, and it's 70% wool, 22% mohair, and 8% polyamide. And it's got a slight halo on it. I don't know if you could see that from the mohair. And it's very soft. Very soft. Mum said I don't think I could wear that. But of course I wear a t-shirt underneath, but I don't think it would bother me anyway. And I've got 10 balls, which is a bargain really, isn't it? Because this sells for a lot more. Has it been discontinued? I meant to look it up. I'm not sure. This is, for those who want to know, it is, excuse me, you find it's shade 847, because they don't put names on, made in Romania. So what shall I make with this? This is going to definitely be one of my 12 cast ons, and it'll be the last big thing I put on the cast ons. Another jumper. Stop saying Anne, okay. So yeah, I'm dithering. Now, the Rebel cardigan by Anne Strict calls, one of the original, the long version was knitted up in this. And I'm very tempted because it's a similar construction to the Big Love that I've got in Let Lopey. I don't wear that very often because it's so warm, and also because I use crossbody bags, it gets to the back of my neck if I've got a heavy bag on me. So I find it a bit itchy, not itchy, but get a bit sore. I can feel it, you know, because Let Lopey isn't the softest, is it? In fact, I didn't wash it last year. Maybe I should wash it, but I don't want to put fabric conditioner in it because it'll spoil the nature of the beast. So yeah, what should I use this for? Got any suggestions? Because I've got 10 balls, I don't want to make an accessory because I think that's a waste of having the investment of so much yarn. And in these days, for us hand knitters with wool and Rowan, it's a bargain. It'd be a shame not to knit a jumper out of it. Have any of you used it? And how does it wear? I mean, even a vest would be nice. I don't wear a lot of shirts. Because I don't go out, you see, I've got all these nice things to wear. Quite a few nice things to wear. But I don't get to put them on. So something like a vest. I'd like one vest in my wardrobe at least. But yeah, what would you do with it? What else did I look at? Looked at something else. But yeah, ideas please for an Aran weight jumper that's easy to, not too much patterning maybe, because I think the yarn itself is nice. I think it's a coat with cables, maybe not lace, because at the moment I've got the lace pattern for the leaflet. Oh, I have got another cast on to show you. Forget me head if it was loose. I've got the leaflet chart. I've got the chart for the Goldwing, which I keep want to call Goldfinger, and I've got the chart, the Japanese, I got from the Japanese Stitch Bible to do my ginger cardigan out of the gold as brass, which I'll show you in a minute, because I think I've done a whole repeat. So I shall be back. My project bag for this is a Hessian Royal British Legion poppy bag. Yay! I love poppies. I absolutely adore poppies. Any shape or size. I really, really like them. And that's from my friend Elaine. She gave me my Christmas presents in that. And she keeps a label on it. It hasn't got how much it costs, but it doesn't get thrown away. I have got so many bags. I told you that last time, I think. All I need to do is take a photograph of this, and I'll try my best to show you the lace. Can you see that? It's just beginning. You can see that like a triangle. I don't know if you can see the wheat sheaf pattern. I need to take a photograph and show you. I'll do that and put it in. I cast on again with bigger needles to my double knitting pattern book, that Wendy one that I've got that I know fits me. I'm doing the largest size. Now I know I said I undid it last time because I was doing it on a 4mm needle and the back felt really stiff. The yarn, I mean, it's not a fat DK, it's quite a high twist, I think. It's a gorgeous colour, isn't it? I do love those murky greens, browns and stuff. Oh, and I do like them with a bit of purple as well. This doesn't look that holy when you look at the picture, the photograph of the lace pattern, but it is. It's got, it's proper lace. You can probably see a few holes through there. But the back, I'm doing a stocking stitch to speed things up because I wouldn't want to do this all over. It takes a while, especially when you're wrapping stitches. It says to do it on a cable needle, but I'm just doing it manually. So I've done a pattern repeat and I'm fine with it. I still may run out of yarn because I've gone up a needle size, but I still need to cover the inches. So Tom said to me, when you measured it and you got half a ball left, gone through half a ball, I got 500 grams. And he said, and you've done 3.5 inches, so that's 35 inches if you carry on knitting. So you should have plenty, because you don't need it, it's not a long cardigan with no sleeves. And of course it's got a V on it, so that'll take a little bit out as well. So I'm going to see how I get on. And if it means I get sort of 3/4 length sleeves or bracelet, then that's fine with me. But I'm enjoying the knit. The BFL isn't soft like Merino, but it's nice. It is nice and soft, but it's quite robust. This time I've done this on several of my makes. When I go change from the rib to the stocking stitch, I put an over knit row in, so you get that little ridge there. And I quite like the demarcation between the rib and the flat stitch. I did a 2x2 as well. I much prefer that to doing a 1x1 rib. And this time I did a German twisted cast on as well. It's a bit stretchy. I don't need it to be, but I like to keep my skills up, because I've got the German twisted cast on in the head. Don't need to look it up anymore, which is nice. So yes, I nearly forgot about this. I don't know what we're going to call this, really. Should call it brassy. I think doing it a disservice, but brassy. We'll see how that goes. And that's my final cast on. I've not of the thing to show you. And I'll come back next week with some more. Hopefully I will have cast on the red, the Kid Classic. I've printed out several patterns. I've got, I'll just show you quickly. Talk amongst yourselves. I've got a gnome pattern as suggested by Ginny, and that's an Aran and a 4-ply version. It's a Here We Gnome Again by Sarah Shearer. I also printed out the Glow Hair Frost pattern by, this is a free pattern by Stephen West, and I've obviously not got all the things I've printed out. It's only got details about the yarn on there. So this is called the Auden. Sorry, let me have a look. The Audley End, and it's a pattern that I got from the knitter. And as you can see, it's like a round neck, and it's got some stitch detail around the bottom, a different colour, and it's also got a pattern all over it, it looks like a daisy stitch or something, or it could be holes, but yeah, that's a double knitting and it's cotton. So I'm thinking of the 3 colours I bought last year from Drops when they introduced Yarnsmiths, when they introduced their DK cotton. I'm going to put 2 of those together to make that, and I'm quite pleased that I found that pattern, because I've not really used any out of the knitter since I knitted my jadeite, and I stopped having the knitter as a subscription because A, so many of their patterns are not size inclusive, B, they put Drops patterns in there which are free to everyone. So I don't go with the vibe that they're trying to sell, that it's a more it's for more experienced knitters, or I think like more sophisticated. No. I mean, I admit they don't do some of the stuff that some of the other knitting books, magazines do, like, knit yourself a coat hanger cover or a lunchbox and things. I'm being silly now, but yeah. And the one thing I would like to do, I don't know what, this goes up to a 55-inch bust, and this is DK. So again, I've got that linen as well, haven't I, that Summer Meadow that I bought off. But I love this. This is a cafe blouse, and I don't know, you can't probably see the detail of the stitch there, by Higstrick Lone Kelson. I'll put it on the screen. I'm not good with Scandinavian pronunciations, but I love the texture in this, and it's done in two. Is it done in two colours, or is that? I know it might be my printer, but my printer has mended, so I've been doing a load of putting that out. I think I showed you the blossom hat the other day. I haven't got a photograph of it, unfortunately. I've just got a load of photographs showing me how to do the star stitch. So I didn't print the first page, which I quite often don't do. So yes, so I've got plans and planned some at Advent. So yeah, and there's also the sea glass that's a possibility. So we'll see what we end up deciding on, because decision making is the hardest thing. I'm squinting now because I can't see. Well, before I go, because that's all the knitting that I've been doing, and I need to get some crochet on the hooks. Before I go, I want to offer up something that I'd like to destash. Now, I think I bought this from Ange as a destash because I've just looked on her destash page, and she's got a couple of Rowan summer lights that she would have had for the shop, you see, when she had a bricks and mortar shop. Now, this is Summer Light 4-ply, again from Rowan. It is not that bright. No way. It's like, it's called periwinkle, but actually it's more of I'd say more of a denim blue. I can't get it to show. It's just blowing out the colours. It is nearer a denim, I would say, than a that looks more like a periwinkle on the screen, but to my eyes it's duller. So this is a lovely cotton to work with, the Summer Light 4-ply. I've got 10 balls of this, and I don't know how much it's selling for because I know it's still for sale, but I've got 10 balls, and ideally, probably just to post within the UK, I'd like £25 for it. Now, so we say 28 to include postage. So let's see if anybody wants this. It's gorgeous cotton. It's mercerized cotton, I think. Made in Hungary, 100% cotton, shade 424, and it does actually have, me saying it didn't have any on the ball, on the bag, it does say periwinkle. So if anybody's interested in this, the first message I see either down below on the messages or DM me on Instagram or email me, and the first one I see, and I look at several every day, I'm on my phone, or I look at my emails in case the lottery send me something. So anybody is interested in that, within the UK, £28 to include postage. See, it still looks very bright on there. It isn't. It's a nice sort of denim-y blue colour, I think, anyway. If you had denim colour on a cotton shirt, you know what I mean? So I'll just bung this down somewhere and finish off. Thank you for joining me, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to me, please do. I never say this. Like and subscribe. I try and answer all the comments that I get, even if it takes me a few days. It has been recently because I'm better off doing it on the laptop. I keep getting the blue blob appear on next to people's, where you can send a message, a little blue dot, and it doesn't work on my phone. So, and typing on my phone isn't as easy, is it? Especially with one finger like me. I went and picked up my new boots last week. They're black and boring, I'll show you a photo of that. Then they are okay. They've got like bubbles on the bottom, and I was terrified that on our floor I'd just go skating. But surprisingly, they have been okay. As long as the floor's dry. Since we had the bathroom done and we haven't got any wallpaper anymore, we find that any water stays on the floor or on the walls. Tom wipes the walls down every single time. But we found that water stays, so I have to be really careful on a wet floor with my rubbers, obviously, and my sticks. I rely on them a lot more than I used to when I get in and out of the chair. And I think these shoes would fly if there was a wet floor, so I have to be really careful. But they're all right, they're comfy. I'm getting pins and needles badly. And one day when I go back to the doctors, I will ask her what my nerve test said. And I haven't been out apart from that. We were going to go to the supermarket, but I thought, no, I'd rather go back and get out of my clothes, you know, because I had to get fully dressed. I'd be more comfortable going back home. We parked at the countryside centre and walked through past Nunnery Wood and to the hospital. And it's the other side of the hospital grounds as well that we need to go to. And Tom's going as fast as he can because we had 20 minutes or just under 20 minutes since getting out the car to get there for our appointment. So he's going faster than he would normally walk, and we get there 10 minutes early. At least we know now. I couldn't remember how long it took us the last time we virtually ran. We weren't going that fast, but you know, it's not nice having to walk fast that far when you're not used to it. And then we had to wait another 10 minutes because the office was shut. The lady wasn't there. She came back, and then we waited another 5 minutes before we were called. So in the end, we didn't get in much before 3. Never mind. So I've got another appointment to come through today for the 18th of Feb, and I shall be going then to... He's going to measure me properly, he said now. Don't know why they didn't do that in the first place after 8 years. These fit me, don't get me wrong, and he's had changes made to them to make them more comfortable for me, padding wise, and they feel beautiful inside. They are luxury items without a doubt. But then I shall be ordering my burnt orange boots. Why not? I'll go with my wardrobe, most of my wardrobe, and if it clashes, then so be it. You know? What is the story? Is it when I get old I shall wear purple? I've got quite a few purple things actually. I tell you what, I've had some bags from Temu come today, mailing bags. Thought I'd try them while I was ordering bits and pieces from there. I do love a bits and piece order from Temu. Some of it goes to the charity shop because it's absolute rubbish or it's not what I needed or wanted. But anyway, these mailing bags feel quite substantial. Better than the last lot I got from eBay anyway. You just can't tell, can you? Right, I'm going. I will see you next week, without a doubt, or maybe at the weekend if the light. Sorry, it's so dark today. Got all my lights on, but you know, looked like I live in a cave with lights. Take care. Tell me what you've been doing. I want to know. And how far are you along with the 12 cast ons if you're doing them? And if you're not, that's fine. And what are you working on at the moment? I love it because I have to go to Ravelry and look it up and add it to my favourites. And things take much longer, you know, when you're in Italy. You have to look at all these things. You get a lot of FOMO, I find. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. And I will. Oh yeah, and a couple of you said you'd like me to talk about my boarding school. You've asked for it, you'll get it. And we'll do that after the 12 cast ons are finished, okay? So you take care, keep warm, and or cool, whichever you need to do. And I will speak to you in a few days' time. Thanks for watching. Bye.